Hello. We are going to talk about Dune Awakening as of now. Um, I did play this at launch, so I knew how the state was when I launched. I never went into in game, but I understand what in game was kinda. It was just yeah. Um, anyway, I will get into it. I have played about what did it say? About 200 hours. I have found a cool community that I have joined, and they're willing to help build and all that nonsense. Like him, really, dude is. If you don't know who he is, I recommend go checking this dude out. His name is Bird Nerd, and he's pretty cool. Just go check him out. He basically his community basically like took me in after I transferred to their server. They were like, "Here you go, take this stuff, and I've been on their Discord watching their streams. They're pretty cool." Um. Anyway, yeah. So I played about 200 hours of this game. My opinion, and story wise, so the story kind of takes place. If you've read the books, if not, I'm going to kind of explain it here. In Dune 2, Messiah, Paul was having like these visions of like the future or alternate universes, blah 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 blah, because of his thing, and the Dune game, Dune Awakening, kind of takes place in an alternate timeline where if Paul never existed, if Lady Jessica basically was like, "Oh, I had my daughter," instead of having Paul, like in the books. So, and then your character is out hunting for the Freemen, which have poofed. Um, as of right now, the story's kind of just going. I'm not going to spoil any of that, but yeah, it's kind of just still ongoing, because of they're wanting to add more stuff. There's supposed to be a chapter 4 update that's supposed to fix some more stuff, and we're about to. I will get into that in a second. Chapter 3. So, if you don't know, from chapter 1 to chapter 3, till chapter 3, there was a big issue with the player base just went. And when chapter 3 dropped, player base kind of went up a little bit, but now it's kind of go back down because people are playing the new content and don't care anymore. But there is still people that are gonna constantly play it. Like, I think I'm gonna keep coming back to it. But yeah. Anyway, so chapter 3 basically reworked the lands wrath, making it for PvE players can still have fun, because a lot of it is making you go into these new testing stations they added into the overworld map, which I'm gonna get that to that. I'm jumping around. Sorry. Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify those few things. So we'll get back into the thing. So Dune Awakening is a survival builder game with heavy, I guess I wouldn't say heavy, but with an RPG aspect to it. So there's a lot of like NPCs that give you quests. There's quests that they send you off on, blah 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 blah. There's skill trees that you can go do, builds. It's pretty cool on that aspect. But yeah, it's a builder survival RPG ish with the story going on. Like I said, right now the story is still going. They're probably gonna add. I don't know if chapter 4 is gonna be the end of it, or they're gonna announce more stuff. We don't know. As far as we know, Funcom doesn't like to be local. So that's them. Um, so, but anyway, you're with that. Like, there's a so you start out in a place called Haga Basin. It's basically like the big open world that you can explore. That's the PvE area. And you explore all that, blah blah. You can tear down whatever you want, build your base, meet other players that are in there, but there's no like PvP. The PvP in there will be these things called wrecks, and the wreck of blah blah blah. They're randomly scattered around the map. You can go to those areas, and a PvP aspect will happen. You'll go into a PvP instance, like timer will pop up the top screen, blah blah blah. You're in the thing. But when I've done them, I've never seen anybody in them. Never. Because I assume at this point people don't mess with Hog anymore. But in the next video you'll understand what I'm going to say about that. But, and then you go to each corner, like there's 4 corners or whatever corner of the map. You go to that, boop, and they'll say, do you want to go to the over map? And you say yes. And then it loads out, and then you're on the top down perspective of your ship, and then you can fly around this over map. Inside this over map, there's all these things you can do. So there's testing facilities out there now. There's wrecks out there. There's caves and like areas you can go to, and then there's also the Hoggerville, the 2 factions that you can go to, the Harkonnens and Atreides. You can go to their 2 houses, the Hark Village and whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, you can go to those, and those are like the hubs. Those are like the hubs for your faction that you like. But as I've noticed when you're doing the story quests and the class quests, you're just bouncing around all those hubs. So they're basically making you go through all that. Speaking of the classes, you don't start out with a skill tree to your full whatever you can do. You can only go up so far, and then you have to go out and find that specific person. So say Swordmaster. You get to a certain point, and then they're like, hey, you need to go find the Swordmaster to advance this skill. So you need to do the Swordmaster's quest. You keep doing his quest until he gives you the ability to unlock that next part of the tree. And they have their own little story that you run through, which is kind of cool. There's Swordmaster, Benedictus, Mentat, the plant people, and Trooper. Those are the 5 classes. You can go trees, you can go down. I've done them all because as of right now, they made it where you can just respec, so you can just respec and do whatever you want. But anyway, so there's the main houses, blah blah blah. You can go to. Inside those, there's like in-game vendors, which will sell probably like a lot of stuff that you probably are looking for. If not, there is a market with players flipping stuff online. You can put stuff online, and then vice versa. Yeah. But after you're done doing all that, and you head far north on your overmap, there is a place called the Deep Desert. I haven't really experienced most of it because I've been doing all the other content. Same with Chapter 3. I'm on Chapter 3, so as of right now, I haven't finished Chapter 3, but I'm confident enough to say what I want to say on this video. But Deep Desert. You go towards north and you head into this big ass area called the Deep Desert. Apparently it's massive. What I've been hearing, it's really, really big. What this is is a PvP area. People go in there because there are certain materials in there that you have to get. They're in the deep desert. So you can go in there, build a base. Every week, um, like the storm happens, and destroys everyone's base, and then you have to start over. There's called a backup thing, a backup base thing now, where you can just go boop, pick up your base, and then place it back down. So I'm assuming that's what people do now. Instead of having to completely rebuild, they just go boop and just, yeah. But yeah, there is in-game materials in there that you have to go into deep desert if you expect to build any of that in stuff. As of right now, I'm not into that tier of building stuff, but I am getting there. Uh, yeah. So, but yeah, that's kind of the in-game of what it used to be, whereas you have to go out into deep desert, you have to build a base, you have to participate. And I'm about to get into right now. The Lance Raft used to be like that, where they forced you to go out there. Because as far as I know, there's like testing facilities and all that in the deep desert too. And as far as I know now, half of the deep desert is PvE and the other half is PvP now. Where it used to be full PvP, or I think it was only like a small bit was PvE. I don't remember. But now it's much, much bigger. So the Lance Raft apparently used to be you need to go out there, blah, blah, blah. Now, I think what I understand is they completely taken those quests out, and there's no longer that. They've added new ranks to the faction, because originally you could only go to 5 with the factions. But now you have to get to 5, and then you unlock the Lance Raft, blah, blah, blah. They've added that, and the Lance Raft thing where they want you to go to these testing facilities in the overworld, or the wrecks in the overworld, blah, 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 blah. And then you're participating in either Harkonnen or Atreides. And at the end of the week, there's these conditions, like, say, building costs increase, or building costs 20% off or something, whatever, reduced, stuff like that, or like XP boost or blah 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 blah. I think that affects the deep desert, but anyway, it every week that's changed depending on who wins the Lance Raft. But yeah, everyone's doing quests on this little board, blah blah blah. Whoever's faction takes over. Yeah, and that's basically how they reworked Lance Raft. Let me think. What else topics do I want to add in? Oh, especially with this, the Lance Raft thing added new specialist stuff. So, as you're doing that, you're all unlocking this new skill tree for the in-game things. So there's combat, crafting. Well, there's like 5. I can't remember all of them, but yeah, there's grind, there's combat, blah blah blah, and there's like new perks that you can get for that. So that's kind of another thing. And then, let's see, they added a thing called the augments, which I guess everyone's kind of like iffy about, but there's a new augment table. You throw that down, and you can add mods to your guns to make it like 50% more damage, better aiming, blah blah blah, depending on what you depending on how you want your build. So like, I haven't messed with that either. That's kind of a future thing for me, but yeah. I am definitely in the end game, and I'm excited to actually play what is end game for Doom. But Dune. But as of right now, I think this game's fucking awesome. I think I'm gonna stick around for a while. I'm gonna keep participating in stuff. I'm still learning stuff as I'm participating in it. Like, this game's awesome. I recommend anybody to come check this out. Yeah, the beginning of it is so damn slow. But once you start getting, vehicles, you have your base built, you start doing some requests, it gets really good. And apparently this year they're supposed to be adding a console version. So people that are on console and don't have a PC, it is coming. It is very much coming. So I think that will be the end of the video. Like I said, check this thing out. I highly recommend it. I've played like 200 plus hours of this game. Just check it out. Watch videos. See people PvP. See people do quests. There's arenas now that you can do. Like I said, watch people do land graph. Go check out some streamers. Or go watch me do it, because I've been streaming the crap out of this game. Yeah. Till next time.